Hello, and welcome to the Odyssey Lesson 28, Epic Similes and Their Role in the Text, Book 16. In a previous lesson, we analyzed how complex characters develop over the course of a text, interact with other characters, and advance the plot or develop the theme. Today, we will reread and discuss some critical passages from Book 16. We will also interpret figures of speech, such as epic similes in context, and analyze their role in the text. You will need, for this lesson, your copy of the Odyssey, your completed 3-2-1 summarizer handout, the Google form quiz for Book 16, and the Epic Similes handout for Book 16. I want you to go ahead and access the Google form quiz for Book 16 in Google Classroom. We omitted Books 14 and 15 for the sake of time. In Book 14, Eumaeus, the swineherd, welcomed Odysseus, who was disguised as a beggar, and bemoaned the terrible state of affairs in Ithaca. In 15, Telemachus set sail for Ithaca. Remember that he, too, has been on a journey. In Lesson 6, we first learned about epic similes. Throughout the reading of the Odyssey, we've encountered many examples of this literary device that is unique to the epic poem. A simile is a comparison of two very different things using the words like or as. An epic simile is more involved, often lasting throughout several lines of text. Now let's look back at an effective example of an epic simile from Book 10. The quotation is describing the men who have been turned into animals by the powerful enchantress Circe. This example is also printed for you on the Epic Similes handout. Mountain wolves and lions were roaming round the grounds. She'd bewitched them herself. She gave them magic drugs. But they wouldn't attack my men. They just came pawing up around them, fawning, swishing their long tails, eager as hounds that fawn around their master, coming home from a feast, who always brings back scraps to calm them down. So now, let's look at the Epic Similes handout. To what does Homer compare the transformed animals? If you look in that middle column on the first row, what does he compare the two? What's the comparison happening there? That's right, they're being compared to obedient dogs. We will now work through the process together of answering the question, what is the effect of this comparison? That's in the third column. Basically, so this is what is suggested. The subject of the enchanted animals is compared to common household dogs. Homer wants us to understand that the enchanted animals and domestic dogs share the following characteristics. They are dependent on their master for food and survival, and their master has complete control over them. Homer wants readers to draw the conclusion that Circe is a very powerful enchantress who wields great power over seemingly strong warriors. Now that we've done the first row together, you will complete the next 2 rows. Use the model from Book 10 as the guide. Search for 2 more epic similes in Book 16. Then complete the following task for each epic simile. In the first column, you're going to copy the epic simile and list the citation, as in the example in row 1. In the second column, you're going to detail what 2 things are being compared. And in the third column, you're going to write commentary to answer the question, what is the effect of the comparison? And I'm going to provide a sentence frame on the next page, and you'll have about 20 minutes to complete this activity. Here's the sentence frame that I'll leave up while you work on the rest of the page. The subject of A, part of 1 comparison, is being compared to B, the other part of the comparison. Homer wants us to understand that A and B share the following characteristics. Characteristic 1, characteristic 2. Homer wants us to draw the conclusion that blank. Again, you have about 20 minutes to complete this part. If you do not finish, well, you should finish in that time. For homework, if you didn't finish the Epic Similes handout, you're going to complete that as well as reading Book 19 independently for homework. You will need your copy of the Odyssey and the 3-2-1 Summarizer handout. And there will be a quiz on Book 19 at the beginning of the next class period. Congratulations! You have completed Lesson 28 of the Odyssey unit. In this lesson, you reread and discussed some critical passages from Book 16. You also interpreted figures of speech such as epic similes in context and analyzed their role in the text.